and I'll just be in a minute or so while I'm looking for something to talk about.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Just had two teammates get domed right off the bat here. That's
Yeah.
not very useful. Yeah. Not much that you are able to do about that. At this point, after teammates get domed, you probably just want to start backing up and regrouping for the next fight. Very nice.
Very intentional, for sure, for sure.
Well, even if it's unintentional, it's good. Good crosshair placement and putting your crosshair where the people are. Very nice kill as well there. Okay. Now, because of how they've changed Discord, and I kind of, it kind of takes me off playing Zen now with Discords, because I don't play so much that I've gotten into good habits yet with it. So I end up just like placing it on someone, and then they run around the corner. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it is. So just gotta now that is how it works, and there is a long delay. I think it's what, like 7 seconds before you can put it back on.
Yeah.
So with the Ramatra here, you just gotta watch for when they come off, because here Ramatra, you had a Discord on him a while ago, but now at any point here we could be putting Discord on him, but we just kind of let it, or sorry, not at any point after this, right? So 3, 2, 1. So right now and on, we could be discording him while he's out in the open here, but we kind of just let him sit, and we finally put on. So it's like a 3-second delay. So just watching for things like that, small efficiencies. You do have to be wary and careful of it. So like, but don't be afraid to use it, right? Like, because if you never use it, then it doesn't get value. So like here on a Widowmaker, if you're shooting at Widowmaker, use it on the Widowmaker. Here on the Ramatra, probably not a smart idea right now, because we place it on him and then immediately get around the corner.
Yeah.
We place it on him while we're around the corner, so maybe not the smartest. And then we kind of are the ones who back up around the corner, so that it probably, especially on the tanks, who are going to a lot of the time wait till he's pushing and he's out in the open to place it on him, so it can stay on him, rather than when he's just kind of behind cover. Because then what he'll do, if he's a smart Ramatra player, is he will just let you place Discord on him, run around the corner, and then he'll run in after that. So use it like right now when he's actually pushing, like, you know.
Yeah.
Because then it stays on him much longer. Very minor point, but with stuff with deployables like that, you can potentially just let them sit there longer until like the fight's about to start, and then you can destroy it when the fight's about to begin, or when they start pushing back in, because then they actually will be down the cooldown when the next fight's beginning. Because right now this doesn't really technically do anything, because by the time the next fight starts, the cooldown will be back. But if you let the turret sit here for another 10 seconds and then you destroy it, well then the cooldown will be up while they're coming into the fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. watch just randomly placing discords if you know that you're duck around these corners. I'm not gonna spend all session on this, but you can see it again here where we can just like we jump, place a discord when you know that you're gonna be around the corner. So that's just instantly
Yeah.
gonna go down, and it's not really gonna do very much. So don't place it on stuff if you're not gonna be able to keep it on them.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's a pretty solid usage of trance, right? You used it when it's still pretty even fight. It's a 4v4 at the moment, and they got the ult on a bunch of your teammates, so good usage of trance.
Damn!
Very nice shots. Okay, good shots. Good fight. Right now you can be probably, with your Sigma up here, you can be poking, getting damage in while they're respawning if you just start charging up right clicks and volleying them down. When you're working at higher levels, this is going to be part of efficiency, is just making use of every single second in the game, because every single second of the game is useful. In between rounds, you can be planning. In between fights, you can be planning, or even like this, you can be poking. So here, if we're poking, let's just say you get like 5%, 10% ult charge. If you do that in between every single fight, well then that's potentially upwards of like 20% more ult charge per ultimate per game, which is insane stuff to think about. Like, if you just said like, you're getting 20% more ult per game, like that's a lot more ultimates you're gonna be able to get out. You're gonna be able to get ultimates quicker, more uptime. You're gonna have more availability because you might have it be, in time to stop a certain ultimate that they might have. Things like that. And then not only are you getting a bit more ult charge, but you're also opening up for the possibility of just a random right click volley, which won't happen all the time, right? It's not like you're guaranteed to get a right click volley, but maybe every 20th try or 30th try you'll get a nice juicy 5 volley to someone's head, and then all of a sudden now they're going back. They have to wait for that player to come back, right? And then that buys your team, that wastes more of their time. It means that you can come back, right? So use this time in between fights, especially if your Sigma is up there just giving you a shield. Go charge up a right click, volley down, volley down, volley down. That way you just are doing things in between these fights. Okay, minor things here. Firstly, I would probably have your orb on the Sigma rather than the Hanzo here, unless you have some like a DPS who's like going off on a flank. Oftentimes DPS won't be taking as much damage as tanks, so you can usually just default your orbs back to just sitting on the tank because they're going to be taking the most damage, and then therefore you can get, once again, the most ult charge and the most healing value, and then you swap the DPS on as needed basis when they start taking damage, since it'll be less frequent, and unless they're like actually the DPS is actively going in, like a Genji or a Tracer or something like that. But here, when you can see like, okay, well, who's actually shooting at Hanzo when we have orb on him? Probably not a whole lot, because he's kind of like behind your whole the Sigma in front of him. So Sigma's going to take more damage, or probably wants to be on Sigma. Additionally, after Hanzo gets sniped in the head, we don't replace healing orb for another like 6 seconds, so you just got to keep an eye out for healing orb and just make sure that it always has uptime. They always are putting it out on something, so we don't place it here for another little bit. Yeah, that point in the fight, that point fight was probably already lost.
Yeah, this trance is questionable. I should have trance like before my one. I shouldn't even be out here. I don't even know. And then the trance is needed to be earlier or not at all.
Yeah, because the thing is that your Ramantra did push out, and you were trying to push out with him, but then he backs up.
Yeah. I just shouldn't have tucked into that corner. Like I should have like stayed at this. Or as soon as he like here, I should immediately like I see him backing, and then I'm like 1% to trance, and I see he's gonna die to these turret. Like I needed a beat an LOS of him, so my trance hits him. Yeah.
Yep. So, poor usage of trance after fight's already lost at this point because it's a 5v3.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 4v3. Do we have? Where's our Sombra at?
Who knows? Probably somewhere. Oh, on the Widow.
Yeah. Well, it's so at this point not like fully. It's a 4v3, not fully down, but we're also just really far away, so maybe not the best trance. Other things to think about here.
I feel like a trance, like not using trance here is like big, just because they kind of overall like we lose our tank and then they Kitsune and then they Sun. They use both support ults after we've lost our tank.
Yep. What else would you say? Do you think that there's any problem in terms of our target priority here? Because I'd say that there's two main problems with target priority. One's like an immediate this fight thing, and another seems to be a trend throughout some of the fights.
Well, I've always had the issue of big target in front of me, shoot tank. So yeah, I don't know. I always like default to whoever I have Discord on, which I don't think is inherently the best use of it, just because Zen does so much damage on squishies. That like if I get like 2 of my primaries off, I can like to the head I can kill a squishy, which is what most of the DPS in the roster do. And if I were on DPS, I wouldn't be shooting the tank here. Like I struggle with that. Like I know if I were on Ashe here, I would not be shooting at this tank, but because I am on Zenyatta and there is a Discord orb on him, I'm shooting at the tank, which I don't think is inherently necessary. Like I should be shooting at the squishies because I have such a high capability of getting picks on them, and and specifically like this Alari probably who's like in my LOS and then Discord, like you don't necessarily have to be shooting at the person you're Discording, right? Because you just 2-shot headshot even if they don't have Discord.
Yeah, or if you have the opportunity. No, I think it's a 3-shot. It's a 2-shot headshot with a Discord. With Discord, it's 2-shot headshot. Then I think it's 3-shot headshot for non-Discorded targets. But you can still be like if you start shooting at at somebody else, you probably should be usually discording what you're shooting at, because then you're able to shred them much quicker. But I think just in general, we focus a little bit more on the Ramasha than we should. Like even this
especially when he's in like
over on the
Nemesis. Yeah.
So like we just sometimes make opportunities to go for other targets, because remember, target priority is okay. Firstly, do you have the opportunity to pick and choose either A, Symmetra, or B, Ramantra, and then there's also actively seeking out other targets of, okay, maybe I go in an off angle to get around the Ramantra to the squishy targets and shoot them easily. What kills what plays a large part in killing
these turrets on the top that I'm not shooting at.
Yeah.
Just by having direct LOS to them. Like I'm the person most capable of shooting these here, and if I'm gonna be out like this, I better be shooting these turrets.
Or even you could see them the entire time when you're walking out here. You see him from here as well.
Yeah.
So not shooting those turrets was killer on your ram. So yep, turrets as well as squishies.
Like I'm he slept. Oh.
Dragon consume you!
Very nice.
Fair, that switched off the soldier last second. Think so.
Yeah, I feel like their change on Zenyatta's not a good change because it just feels like it hurts his quality of life and gameplay feel of the character.
Yeah, I feel like I noticed it. I was playing a Zenyatta game like in Plat and Coliseo, and the entire time I was playing peekaboo with the tank. Like the entire time, because they were playing a Rhine who's like I swapped to Zen because this Rhine was like messing up my Rhine, and so I was just like okay. And this guy kept trying to peek around corners, so the whole time I'm just playing like
Yep.
I'm gonna go around this corner with you so that my Discord, which has a 7-second cooldown, doesn't drop off of you.
Yep, exactly.
Especially with Coliseo that has like this big pillars where there's just a bajillion places to hide, and it makes Zen, which like I get it because I think he was a little too strong, maybe where there's like large sight lines, like you just could not play brawl tanks into large sight lines like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessarily a bad. Like I don't know. I don't think that being
Yeah,
punishable is
I
a
think
bad
that
thing.
I think that it probably is a little too punished now where it just doesn't feel good. And
Yeah.
that's it's nothing on the balance end of things because it makes sense from a balance perspective, but it doesn't feel good to play. So you should
But
probably balance him in a different sense. Like if you're going to do something like that, make it much more minor where firstly it doesn't go away after after 1 second because that's just kind of it just doesn't feel good. Zenyatta's always played where he's able to see you around the corner for a couple seconds, and that's a lot of the times it's how he's been able to like get lands right click volleys on you is because he can see you coming up around that corner. But and then also because of the corner thing, it just means that your Discord is now, useless more times than not. And then when it does go down, it's down for 7 seconds, which just feels so punishing. When maybe if you had it like a 2 second, 3 seconds, right?
yeah,
That's
maybe where you can't spam it, but like seven
yeah,
seconds is so excessive.
yeah. It does feel
Or
very excessive.
I feel like I feel like me playing Zen here should be like less good than it is. Like I feel like Zen should be played more into the dive aspect of him, and maybe they do something like sleep where you have reduced damage amp on tanks. Like Discord Orb just doesn't give you as much damage amp when applied to tanks, so then you are forced to play Zenyatta more in that. Okay, now I have to work together with my DPS, or I have to pop off on this squishy. I don't know. That could
Yeah.
also.
Like yeah, that's definitely a good thoughts. I think that they probably should just do it in a different. If you're going to nerf him in another area
Yeah.
that doesn't make him feel bad to
Not
play.
a
And
7-second cooldown.
yeah, yep. I feel the same way about like they change on Hanzo. It's a very minor change, and I don't even know why they did it because it's so minor. Where they made it so that he can't hold a charge when he's running up surfaces now. So he can't charge his bow, run up something, and then let loose an arrow that he
No,
did
as
for
a
Yi.
certified Hanzo hater, I think that's a great change because now I can't just randomly die to Hanzo's going up. Because the amount of times where you like watch the kill feedback and it's like him running up a wall and then all of a sudden like, okay, cool. I'd literally 0 time to react from that. My bad, I didn't know the Hanzo 30 feet away from me was climbing up this wall. I don't know.
Yeah, don't
It's
think
just
that
so
yeah,
instantaneous.
I don't think that that makes up a like high volume of kills, and
No,
just
I don't think
as
so
playing from the
either.
Hanzo's perspective, it
It's
just
just
doesn't
like
feel good.
it feels the same as when you die to a Hanzo sonar to the skull. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Like he meant to do that for sure.
Hmm.
I don't know. Hanzo is such an infuriating character to play against. I feel like all characters at one tap are kind of infuriating to play against. But
Mm-hmm.
that's coming from a person that hates Hanzo and has like a Hanzo headshot magnet
Hmm.
on their head. So
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Um, Small habit I notice is that a lot of the time you'll end up attempting reloads when you have a lot of ammo and people in your line of sight still. So we will, for example, watch how we go pow pow pow, shoot shoot shoot, right? And there's people here, and then we'll
Yeah.
reload while we're looking at the Junkrat with
It,
18 ammo.
it's a habit I think that I've built from Ana, who has a lower mag size, and then also just like something I've been working on since our sessions is reloading a lot more on Ana and less DPSing in between fights, because I tend to DPS in between fights and then have no ammo at the beginning of it. So
Yeah,
I think that's just a bad habit I've built on Zen from working on it with Ana.
which once again, like it's always difficult. Because sometimes like when you teach it, you want to just make sure you're not going in the opposite direction with it,
Yeah.
because it is not a bad thing to DPS as Ana. It is a bad thing to never reload and to not use the lulls in time, because you have a lot of natural lulls in time in fights where there's just a second where nothing's happening, and you want to learn to reload during those times where nothing's happening when you are starting to approach lower ammo, versus you don't, if you have max ammo or close to max ammo and you're just reloading 3 bullets, and there's somebody to be shooting at, then probably shoot at the person, right? So here on Zenyatta, 18 ammo, Junkrat in your line of sight, no, probably not a big reason to be reloading. I mean, you probably just want to shoot. Even if you had 3 ammo here, because your bullets aren't on Zenyatta, they're not required for healing, you can just go to the end of your clip and reload at the end of your clip. On Ana, if you get down that low, it really just depends. You have to be aware of your teammates. It's just going to depend on are your teammates in dangerous situations where they're going to need healing soon.
I also don't know, does Zen, because I know Ana, you want to reload before you get to your last bullet, also because it takes longer to reload when you get to your last bullet. Is that true for Zenyatta, or is that only Ana?
I'm actually not sure on Zenyatta. I don't think that that's the case, but I could be wrong.
Okay. I was just curious.
Nice trans. Once again, attempting to reload like 5 times when at 17 ammo.
Yeah. I just don't think I know where they are. I'm like so confused here. Like I remember being like, where are they? Because I knew that some of them were high ground, but like it was weird how they were playing. Like, and then I couldn't get like a LOS on any. Like I don't know. This fight was a little weird. I think my team was playing very apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know what to do here. Like I just didn't know what to do that. So yeah, I just. What do you think I do in that fight? Like, what am I doing in that fight? Like, do I position somewhere else? Am I shooting at something else? Like, what's the goal here?
Right, so let's come back to right here, right? Where
Yeah.
you're coming in, right? Um,
Really annoying.
if you're being aware of your surroundings,
Mhm.
right? You see that you watched. Let's see, did you watch them all go up high ground?
I think so.
You
I saw,
watched.
yeah, I actively watched them.
You actively watched half their team run up to high ground. That's 1-2 people that you saw go up there. You see your soldier run to the left, right? So this is, but then once again, you choose to come and shoot at the Orisa on the front line, right?
Yeah.
So here in this situation, we could be running to the side and joining our soldier shooting at the people up on high ground, and that could be how you're helping your teammates clear. You can take the high ground advantage for your team, clear their teammates off high ground, help duel the squishies. So that's probably your play, is going to high ground rather than just sitting down here shooting at the Orisa. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is an interesting crosshair placement position. Unless we're trying to like shoot at the Sojourn all the way in the back there, like up, like who's on the stairway. Just notice that we seem to be keeping our crosshair generally like above all of their heads here. So this is just a little too high at the moment, because you can see it's like above Orisa's head, and Orisa's already the tallest person on their team.
Yeah.
And we're going like above her head here. So we, and then they kind of hit it when they jump, but we probably don't want to be placing your crosshair for when people will jump. You want to adjust if people are jumping. And at this distance, you probably aren't even going to want to worry about that, because of the fact that by the time your orb gets there, you can't really account for jumping very well. So make sure it's just placed at their normal head level for them here. Make sure healing or we have healing on soldier, but once again, if soldier's just kind of chilling here on the high ground, maybe it wants to be on one of these people in front of you who are in danger.
Yeah. Like, my Onyx would have received that way earlier. I don't know if it would have saved her, but like, if the Junkrat mine didn't hit her, it would have saved her.
Okay. It feels like in a lot of situations we're very, very far back. Have we gone over Zen before?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. Yeah, I'm
No.
not seeing it. I'm noticing in a lot of these fights that your positioning is very, very far away. Let's talk about Zen's ranging real quick. What range of a character is Zenyatta?
Mid range?
Mid-range?
Mid to long, right?
Mid to long. What would mid to long range be in terms of meters if you're
Oh
that
god. Like 20 to like 35. probably.
20 to 35. Okay. So what you just gave is very close to the right answer, I would say. You're
Okay.
right. You're right there, but I'd still say that you're a little bit off, both in terms of just numbers, and then also more importantly, I feel like sometimes when you're playing even closer to the like maybe 40, 45 range, something like this, right?
Mhm.
So maybe you're playing closer to this 35, 40 range. So in general, Zenyatta is, I would say, more of a mid-ranged preference than he is a long-range character. So there's a lot of reasons for this. Obviously, Zenyatta is not close range. You picked up on that because there's a lot of characters that do close range better than Zen does. But that doesn't mean that he can't play, that he can't, come up here and, frag something real quick, right? That doesn't mean it's an impossibility. Just means that that's not where you want to frequently be. It's not your preference with positioning. In the same exact way, you don't have a preference for a long range, which a mid range is typically defined as 15 to 30 meters. I would say, right? That's roughly speaking mid range, with close range being 50, with 0 to 15, 15 to 30, and then 30 plus is a long range. Generally speaking, if you're at this range, you're going to come across a lot of difficulties. Firstly, the very minor point of the fact that you can't place Discord past 40 meters. I think they nerfed that a little bit ago, so you can't place it past that range. Another thing is that even though you can do the same exact damage on Zenyatta, you're going to be working with a lot of inaccuracy because of two primary reasons. Firstly, because you're working with a projectile character, and projectiles have travel time, which means that by the time bullets get there, they've already moved out of the way, whether on purpose or on accident. Additionally, you also have smaller targets to land. This is a much harder target to hit than this is, because it's a much bigger target on your screen, right? So you're going to be suffering from this range. You might be doing the same damage, but you're going to be hitting like a fourth of the shots that you could be hitting if you were right here on somebody, right? So therefore, those are the primary reasons why you don't typically want to be preferenced standing back here. But once again, that doesn't mean that you can never stand back here. There will be situations where you will be back here, like if you're coming back from spawn, or you're regrouping and you're backing up, or if just the positioning doesn't allow you to get closer. But if you're able to be closer, then typically I'd say that 15 to 30 meters is going to be a better range for you to be in. Just because that's where Zenyatta is going to be able to actually do damage and get kills much more efficiently. But I think in a lot of situations you're edging out towards that 30 to 40 range, which is just going to make you much less efficient in terms of getting damage, and in part is going to be one of the reasons why you can only shoot at the tanks, is because you're so far back that shooting at the squishies is just so difficult, and it's also, you're not going to be able to off angle. The further away you get, you run out of off angles, right? There's not really a difference between this and that. You don't have off angles as options when you're super far away. You just run into a lot of issues where it's just going to be difficult to actually secure kills when you're really, really far away. Does all that make sense? Any questions on any of it?
No.
No? Makes sense? And then, once again, as a reminder, you can judge this very easily if you're practicing it by pinging the enemy, and it'll say above their head the range in which you're at. So,
I
just...
didn't even notice that.
Yep. So, just, that's a way in which you can practice it in games.
Okay.
Yep. Alrighty.
Real quick, can I ask why you use a red crosshair?
Red crosshair. I think...
Do you not find that blends in with them?
No, I don't know. I don't, honestly, I don't think that it really makes too big of a difference. I don't know. I think that honestly, I wouldn't even say that it's just kind of something I did a while ago. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think that there's really too much. If you watch enough videos about crosshair making, it always comes back to just this thing could be good. This thing could be good, but it ultimately just comes down to preference.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just what I played with. I don't know. I know a lot of other people use other general crosshairs, but that's just always what I've gone with. No, no.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was like watching
Okay.
when we were in the game. I was watching it. I was like, I feel like I would find that really confusing, but it's not my crosshairs. So
Ready for battle. The order.
Oh, it was like the actual end there. Actually,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
realize that was the end of the game. Oh, listen. Well, new second round too. All right. Well, we got 15 minutes. Do you have another replay that you want to go over?
Yeah, I have another replay. Let's see. Oh god, I have not screened this one, so I don't know when it might be. I just see defeat, and so I'm gonna send this. That's
Ready for battle.
Area denial.
Flashpoint unlocks intense.
Interesting. I went over to the left.
Taking care of
yeah, that's what we were confused too.
Probably this would be a good opportunity. Once again, remember that like it's going to be good opportunities to start looking for abilities when your teammates don't need your healing and stuff like that. Remember that like you want to balance out your gameplay so that when one thing isn't needed, you're doing another thing, and once again, that maximizes your time efficiency. So if you're having a lot of downtime, that's bad, and if you need to do everything all at once, that's also bad. So if you're trying to land abilities while your teammates are critical, that's not a good thing. If you're trying to land damage when your teammates are critical, that's a bad thing. Generally speaking, critical teammates and teammates who need healing come as a priority, because if you miss the opportunity, then you miss the opportunity and they're dead, and that's a big disadvantage. Whereas abilities, if you have to wait an extra 3 seconds to use an ability, it's not the end of the world, because you can still get value out of it. So, generally speaking, healing comes as the priority, and then when healing's not needed, that's when you can do other things, such as use your abilities. That's probably, as Ana, priority probably goes healing, abilities, reloading if you need to if you need to reload, right? You have the time to reload, and then after that comes damage and looking for extra damage and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And then if you have your ultimate, then that also kind of throws in there. That probably goes close to the top, next to healing. Just kind of depends. That's your general priority list, and here we come into the fight, and everybody, because it's the start of the fight, everybody's full HP, which is usually the best time to, once again, everybody's full HP, you're looking for an ability. So we chucked a sleep in, but we probably could be throwing a nade in here. Like, we could just peek over the edge here and just chuck in a nade at the 2 squishy DPS, who are just kind of standing right next to each other. 3 people right next to each other. 2 people right next, kind of walled off, right next to each other. Right? Perfect opportunity to land, to be landing a nade, but we're kind of just like healing people who are down 50 HP, down, now Sojourn's down critical HP, but we could be looking for it right now. Yep, there you go. So just a little bit delayed off the start there. Nice kill.
Sorry,
stand up straight.
Yeah, little bit rushed to the kind of looks like a panic sleep. Didn't even know where he
Yeah.
was. That went right by your head. Okay, right now everybody's full HP. could be a perfect opportunity to be looking for abilities. Positioning wise, probably rather than right here, better positioning would be more like right here, where you can still see your teammates perfectly fine, because if for now, look, you have the opportunity to land a nade at any time you'd like from a very easy off angle. This positioning, no off angle, right? You can't really do anything from here. This positioning, off angle, and you get all the same benefits of team play. The only like downside would be you have a little bit less of an escape option, but it's still generally very safe, right? It's you're able to work with it, work around it, and then you're going to find more value if you're positioning like that.
Keep fighting. My ultimate is almost ready. Stand up straight.
Oh my god.
Looking well.
Yeah, that's just a habit that's gonna take a very long time to break.
Okay, so nanoing Junker Queen when they're kind of pushing.
Get in there.
I don't know why I back that way. Weird.
Fortified.
Run with the lightning!
Flash covering use in 10 seconds.
Let's take him to the underworld!
Okay, once again, feels like very rushed sleeps, very flicky that are throwing off your shots. Here you're even, like, you're kind of on top, you just kind of over flick past him. With charges, remember that he's just like, he's going in a very linear path, so aim towards where he's going. If he's charging into the wall, then he's going to be connecting with something, so you don't have to rush it, just take your time and aim ahead of where you know he's going to be moving. Okay, so kill. Okay, well, we can probably start to wrap up here.
Alright, our Reaper's
Okay, so we're in Zen for most of that. Orbs, Discord, right? Be careful not to Discord people. If you know that you're immediately gonna walk around the corner, that's just kind of a waste of your Discord. But don't be hesitant to Discord people that you're shooting at. Generally speaking, you want to Discord who you're shooting at, because who you're shooting at is going to actually die much quicker if they have the Discord on them. So 2-shot headshot, 3-shot headshot. I think it's also the difference between 3-shot body shot. Oh, sorry, 4-shot body shot versus 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I put the Discord on him again. Oopsie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-shot. Right, body shot. Or you can even do combos. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 3. Right. So there's just lots of reasons you want that Discord on somebody. Usually, if you're trying to kill them, you can in fact place Discord mid volley if you're far enough away. So if I charge up volley quick enough, I can place the Discord in there for the damage. So be spamming that when you're volleying on people, because then it can kind of go in for that volley, even if you hadn't previously placed it. Yeah, just be very careful with it now that it's changed. Be careful to manage it. Or heal orbs, make sure it's constantly on something. Usually default it back to tanks if there's not a flanky squishy to place it on. But if you just have your Hanzo who's just gonna be sitting behind the tank, just put it on the tank until Hanzo needs it. You'll get more ult charge that way, and tank will
Yep.
generally be needing more healing. Then next comes your so overall ability usage is like a medium priority for you to work on, maybe a little bit lower. Trance usage, all of them were pretty good except for that one time that you kind of just mistimed it. So that was probably just make sure that you're being careful with it. Don't use it when you're just a mile away from your teammates. Make sure you're positioning near your teammates. Stuff like that. Besides that, most of them were pretty good. Overall, low to medium priority for you to work on. Mechanics, keep good crosshair placement. Aim at head level, right? Aim where you know people are going to be. Stuff like that. Besides that, left click versus right click, you generally had a very good grip on. Left click when you have people in your LOS, right click whenever you don't have people in your LOS, or your generally right click's also better for longer ranges, left click's better for closer ranges. It kind of just going to depend on the situation. Doing rotations, right click so we can volley when we come up here. Right click, volley. Now I can see him, now I'm left clicking. And besides that, watch your reload habits. Zenyatta, reload much less frequently and shoot more, reload less. And only, you can reload if you have lulls in time where there's nothing else to do. Right, I got a kill, I'm reloading as I rotate. Right, on it's gonna be a similar thing. You reload a little bit more, but don't do it when it's not, when you could be doing something else. Overall, probably like a medium or so. Next comes, or even lower end of a medium. Next comes your positioning. Make sure you're using cover. Make sure you're taking high grounds. Take off angles to go shoot at those squishier targets. And then ranging, right? 15 to 30 roughly. And then I would peter more towards the ranges than I would towards closer, but even sometimes it's good to get closer. Kind of depends on the comp, depends on the map. If it's a super long, open, sight-lined map, then you can peter towards the edges a little bit. But I generally speaking, 15 to 30 ranges are okay. Do that to get, be in there to do more, right? Overall, that one was probably, like, all of positioning was like a higher end of a medium to lower end of a medium high. And then finally awareness, pay attention to what's happening in the fight. Who's up, who's down, where are they at, all that general jazz and fun stuff. All that probably comes to, like, maybe lower end of a medium. So to put that all in order, number 1 is going to be your positioning. Number 2 probably goes to ability usage. Number 3 goes to mechanics. 4 awareness, and 5 ult usage. Any final questions?
Sure.
No? Alright, cool. Well, let me get the recording stopped.
And I'll punish you.